Oh. Oh no, my first flight, and then I pressed this button twice and the drone fell down. Today is the day. Here we go again. In this video, we're gonna talk about drones, if you can't already tell. We're gonna talk about drones. I wanna share with you guys my FPV journey and how it all started. I've always seen those clips, people diving down the mountains and doing those action Johnny FPV kind of shots. And it was kind of interesting to me because as a regular drone pilot, I've been flying these type of drones for many years. And to be honest, it's kind of getting boring. Don't take it the wrong way. These drones are amazing and I've gotten some fantastic shots with these type of drones. This is Mini 3 Pro and I've been using this drone for more than 2 years and it has been just amazing for travels. It can track you, it has a longer battery life, you can add extended battery which gives you 45 minutes in the air, which is insane. But there's this beast, which is FPV, that I wanted to dive into. And I know it's gonna be expensive because that requires a lot of skills and that is not an easy hobby. So I did some research online and the first thing I did is that I bought the FPV controller because I wanted to practice myself and make myself a better pilot before I actually buy the drone. So I bought myself a controller and a flight simulator, Trip, and it is one of the most beautiful flight simulators. Obviously, I sucked. It was really bad. And in the beginning, I was kind of doubting myself. But it didn't take long and I got the hang of it. And before you know it, I'm hitting the gaps. And I was bad at it. And the muscle memory started setting in. And then, yeah, it just became easy. And at times it was frustrating. I couldn't get it to fly. And I can't describe you the feeling that you get flying these type of drones is out of this world. You will never experience anything like that. You feel free, you feel like a bird. You're just hitting those gaps and you're just so focused. One of the best feelings in the world that you have to experience. I spent about 5 days in the simulator and I was damn good. I was hitting those tiny gaps in the tiny windows. And then I said to myself, I'm ready. So for my first drone, I didn't want to buy DJI Avata, which is kind of on the pricey side, and I didn't want to get it as my first drone. So I ended up with DJI FPV, which is a big fat chunk of a drone. And I was really excited. So I got on my motorbike and I went to this really open paddy field. And I thought that was a perfect place to fly, which it was. 1 hour later, I came all the way out of Kuala Lumpur and I came to this beautiful paddy fields of Sekinchan. And honestly, I couldn't find a better place to fly the drone. This place is empty. I have space for days. So there's nobody who's gonna bother me. And I guess I set up for the first flight. Once I'm feeling a little confident, I can kind of fly through here, but let's see how it goes. Hope I don't crash. So yeah, I'm just gonna set up the... Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty nervous. But I think it's pretty normal because it's my first flight. And I just wanna test the limits of my drone. So I take off and I'm in the automatic mode and then I switch to the manual mode. All right, I'm gonna get down a little bit low and get some low shots. Oh my God, this is awesome. And my heart is pounding. It is just like the simulator and I started flying and I'm like, wow, that is not hard. That is even more responsive than the simulator. And it was pretty good. Yes, that drone is very heavy. And when you're diving, it comes down pretty fast. You gotta control your throttle. Otherwise, you're gonna crash that drone. And I knew that. And I've seen somewhere on the internet that with the press of a button, if you're panicking, the drone stops. And I pressed that button, the drone didn't stop. Turns out I pressed the wrong button. So I pressed this button and the drone didn't stop. And I'm like, why the drone didn't stop? It's like a panic button. And then I made a terrible mistake that I really regret. I pressed this button twice and the motor stopped while I'm in the air. Oh. Of all of this place, I was flying around. When the motor stopped, the drone dropped right in the water. Oh no, my first flight, everything was going perfect. Everything was going amazing. I was getting the hang of the drone, and then I pressed this button twice and the drone fell down. And I went searching for the drone in the paddy field. It was not on the paddy field, it fell on the side. It was submerged in the water for like 15 minutes. And when I found the drone, it was completely submerged and there was no bringing it back to life. I got the drone, I dry it up, put it in my backpack, and I ride back home. And the ride back home wasn't fun. A few days later, I was contemplating if I should get the DJI Avata because my trip to Indonesia is coming up and I really want some FPV shots. So I got myself DJI Avata. And I have a bad experience with this drone. This drone is nice and all, it's safe, it is user-friendly, mind you, FPV takes a lot of space. You have goggles, you have your remote, and you have your drone, and which doesn't fold. So it does take a lot of space. I sacrificed some space and I got that drone. Normally I only travel with a regular drone which fits in this tiny little bag and a remote, and it's just so practical. So I traveled to Indonesia with DJI Avata and I haven't even done a test flight. And I did get some cool shots, but it was really tricky. DJI Avata in acro mode was not really smooth to fly and I was wobbling and having a hard time. So I did some rate settings and I adjusted my rates and it got a little better. And I got some cool shots with it. With a 12 minute of battery life, it was kind of okay. It was not bad. It was until then when we traveled to this Bromo volcano and everything went upside down, literally. So I did my flight on a volcano. It was amazing. The flight was amazing. I followed this volcano up to the crater, and as soon as I reached to the crater, it was really huge and it was kind of windy. And I panicked a little bit. I didn't know at that time that Avata has this fatal flaw, which I'm gonna talk about right now. I went up this crater, I turned the drone a little too hard and it flipped upside down and fell to the crater. Non-recoverable. Fell inside the crater. And it was not even my fault. And I was so upset. I didn't crash because of my own mistake. It's a flaw in the drone. DJI Avata failed me miserably. Yes, the first crash was my fault. I was stupid enough to stop the motors. But this one was not my fault. And I was so upset the whole trip. It kind of ruined my whole trip and I lost my creativity and I couldn't create anything. There are many cons about traveling with the FPV drone, and one of them is you not being able to take your own pictures and it cannot follow you. You're wearing goggles and you have to stay focused to take shots, but you can't take your own shots. Like a normal drone, you can hover it and take pictures of yourself or let it follow, take some nice videos. I was really missing that at that time. But I guess it does come with pros and cons. With FPV, you get this kind of feeling that you can never get with a normal drone. I'm never gonna get the DJI Avata again unless they do something with the DJI Avata 2. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna go custom because I think custom is the best option. And I'm looking for Cinelog 35 or Cinebot 30, which is kind of a good option. Yes, it doesn't have GPS, but I can always install a GPS and they're more stable to fly. So, conclusion, traveling with a normal drone makes more sense because it's light, it's under 250 grams, DJI Mini 3 Pro, amazing, you can shoot vertical, you can shoot amazing videos, it's very stable, longer battery life, it is just amazing. I believe I could have gotten a lot more better shots in Indonesia had I taken my normal drone. But anyways, it's a lesson and I'm not giving up on my FPV journey. I'm gonna go custom and I'm gonna create content about that. I'm not really gonna travel with the FPV drone again. Maybe if I get a project or something. I'm just gonna stick to normal drones, but I'm not gonna give up on FPV. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for listening to my story. If you guys are here till now, you're a legend. Subscribe to my Instagram. Follow my Instagram, subscribe to this channel, follow my TikTok and stuff like that, and I'll catch you guys next time.